Hello and welcome to another episode of Mika's World Tour. My name is Mika and this is my world tour, which means that I'm gonna travel all around the world from this chair. And in this epic episode, is it right the way to say it? Epic episode. Yes, it is. In this epic episode, we're gonna travel to exotic, well for me anyway, to exotic Réunion Island. Join me. I was lost in my head. Looked around, there was no one there. I got out to breathe the fresh air. So, Réunion Island. To be honest, I didn't know basically anything about Réunion Island before I talked to Keng-Sam. And this is why I do it, to get to know people and get to know world better. I'm so glad we had the talk. Now I know more about Réunion Island. I did a little bit research, not like a church, research. Well, I did my research. I did my research. You know what I mean. I opened the Wikipedia. That's what I mean. I did open the Wikipedia and put the Réunion Island, and now I know something. I knew something before I was talking to Keng-Sam, something about Réunion Island or history and anything. It was really interesting. I'm so glad about many things, and this is one of them that I had a chance to talk to Keng-Sam. And now you have a chance to see what we talk about. You have a chance to know about Réunion Island. I don't know if you know anybody. I don't know if you know anything about Réunion Island, but after this episode, you do. So let's travel to Réunion Island and talk to my new very good friend, Keng-Sam. Réunion Island is department and region of the French Republic. The island is located in the Indian Ocean and it has population of about 860,000. The official language is French, but majority of the population also speaks Réunion Creole. The European discovery of the island was in the early 16th century, and the uninhabited island was colonized in 1665. The most popular places to visit, according to TripAdvisor, are the Beach Place de Hermitage, Gardens of Domaine de Café Grill, La Maison du Coco Afard. The most popular restaurant in Saint-Denis is Atelier de Ben. So, hello, Réunion Islands. Hey, how are you?
Hello, hi, and welcome. I'm good, very good, and you, man?
I'm good. It's getting better. It's spring here. It's getting warm. And how do you pronounce your name properly? That's my first question. What do you like?
Well, that's a good question. My name properly is it's Keng-Sam, Keng-Sam, Keng-Sam. That's my name, and my last name is Chane Chick Té. So the full thing is Keng-Sam Chane Chick Té.
Keng-Sam Chane Chick Té. Something like that.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah, that's all right.
How do your friends call you? Keng-Sam?
No, everyone. Yeah, Keng-Sam. That's
Keng-Sam. All right.
everyone call me Keng-Sam, and usually people try to find other stuff, but I prefer to be called the way it sounds.
So I will call you Keng-Sam. So how are you doing? What's the weather there at the moment? It's getting spring here, and
well, I mean, like the thing specific about Réunion Island is that it's an island, so we don't have any winter or spring. It's only in any autumn either. It's either winter or spring, winter or summer. Sorry, but I mean, our winter is like 24 degrees, so it's not really winter. So yeah, I mean, for a guy from Finland, it's a smile. You know, when I'm telling you, like, you know, our winter is 24 degrees, be like, what?
yeah. Well, it's minus here, 20, 25 minus.
Wow. All right, okay,
Yeah.
and we're getting towards the winter right now, so it's the raining season, so you might heard some rain at some point because it's heavy rain right now. It's tropical rain, so
Yeah.
it suddenly is very very loud and
Ah.
but
I
yeah
did my research, which mean I went to Wikipedia, so and
yeah
and they said I read about the rain season there, so it's rains
yeah
quite a lot in there.
yeah
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
It's we call it also the cyclone season. So from December till I would say end of April, beginning of May, but usually it's end of April. We might have some cyclones, meaning that if we have a cyclone coming up to the island, everything is shut down and we can't go out because it's dangerous. But we were lucky. Like this year, we didn't have any, just heavy
Yeah.
rain. So it's
So you must have been witnessed quite heavy storms in your
yeah.
life.
I mean, like when I was a kid specifically, but lately we didn't have like bigger stuff. I think that the biggest thing I've experienced, but I was a baby, is that like a storm hit my house, and so my house was like broken down, and so I still have like pictures, me in the crib and in the water. My parents took it because the water went in, and so I think it was like the craziest stuff,
Yeah.
but it's not as big right now.
But there is also a volcano, like a active
Yes,
volcano.
yes.
Yeah.
And actually, it's active right now. Like it's been active for 7 days now,
Ah.
and it's a pretty big thing too. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's.
It's beautiful.
I'm going from volcano to next to volcano because last person I talked to was in Iceland, so there.
Oh wow.
So they have a
Okay.
volcano
Cool.
they're working at the moment. Actually, he can see it from his
Yeah,
balcony.
yeah.
From his balcony, he can see
What?
the glow. Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
that's awesome.
Reunion Island is not too big. It's quite complex.
Yeah,
com-
it's a small island, but I would say that there's around 900,000 people living right now on the island,
Mhm.
and at the same time, it's pretty small. But for me, because I was born there, and I've traveled a lot, but like I've always been there, and it's funny how like even if it's a small island, to me it seems really big.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because there's so many mountains.
Yeah, yeah.
There's so many different kind of climates. Like for instance, you be hanging out on the beach in the west of the island, and 1 hour later you can be in the mountains when it's freezing cold, and on the other time, like it's everything is, and that's one thing I love about my island. Yeah.
That's perfect for like outdoor lives. I mean,
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
do
Yeah,
do you have any?
I mean, if you like outdoor life, yeah, definitely.
You do that a lot. You do hiking or in the mountains. You jump with the weather. I watched some video. People were jumping with those parachutes from the mountains. There,
Oh yeah.
base jumping or what
Is
do you
it
call it?
paragliding? I
Yeah,
think.
something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
paragliding.
there's
Yeah.
paragliding. I mean, like when I was a kid with my parents, we used to do that a lot,
You
and I
did?
think I
Yeah.
got a little bit fed up of this. So, I mean, I still love doing some hiking, sometimes, but I'd rather, I would say, just like stay in the city, in the mountains, and just like enjoying the landscape and the views.
Mhm.
But like I sometimes I like to hike, but it's mostly about like I just love like watching nature. It's
Mm.
just something really cool about the island too.
Do you have a lot of animals there?
Well, I would say we have more insects than animals. Like we don't have any like lions or elephants or
yeah.
stuff like that. It's more insects that are really specific. Like I don't know if you heard about the chameleon.
Yeah.
You know what
yeah,
it
yeah,
is?
yeah, yeah,
The chameleon that change colors.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
have
yeah, yeah,
tons
yeah,
of this here, different sorts.
yeah.
We have a lot of geckos, different kind, lizards, and yeah, some specific butterflies too. But we don't have like proper animals. I would say more small stuff.
Do you get any dangerous animals, venom, snakes or anything?
We have like snakes, but they are not venomous. But
Okay.
I would say like the most dangerous stuff that we have around the islands are sharks.
Oh, yeah.
because, it's
Yeah,
an
you
island.
you must have like a really amazing sea life there, ocean life. Like
Yeah,
I,
I mean,
I was
like
watching. I was
there's a
doing
lot of
my
scuba diving.
yeah.
Yeah,
I was doing
yeah,
my
yeah.
research. Then I saw the Island of Sharks was one head of the one YouTube link I saw.
Mm,
So there.
yeah. It's this thing is pretty interesting because at the same time it's a reality because like we didn't have any problem with sharks for like the last, I would say, since I was born, 30 years. I mean there was has been like some sharks. There was like one attack, and 1 year there's been like 20 attacks, in 1 year, and so people started to freak out,
Mm.
and it got like an eye on the island saying like, oh my god, it's an island where there's like a lot of shark attacks and blah blah blah
Okay.
blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah,
Yeah.
which is at the same time good to inform people, but at the same time it's just like bringing fear towards fear, and like I mean sharks have always been there and they will always be in the sea because it's their habitat. And I think that like it's yeah it's it's an interesting perspective of the island, because I think that what, because we're connected to France, and so we know a lot of French people, and so when even like among French people, when they say where you from, I'm like, oh, I'm from Réunion Island, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, Shark Island. I was like, no, it's not Shark Island.
So that's good.
It's
We
just
talk
an
about
island
that.
with
So that's good. I brought it up.
yeah.
So what's the
Yeah, yeah.
what's the official language there?
It's French and Creole. So we have French, which is the official language, but a lot of people talk the Creole, which is a mix of French, Madagascarian, Arabian, African. It's just like it's a Creole, so it's a mix of different language that only people on Rain Island speak. And when you meet like other people from Rain Island in among like other countries, you can speak that language because they know it.
Yeah. So you speak good French. That's your mother language.
I do. Yeah, it's my first language, and I speak also Creole, and I speak this language,
Yeah.
English.
You speak very good. Very well. Very well.
Thank you.
So
Thank
what do you
you.
do
Thank
there?
you.
What do you do there? What's your thing?
Well, my thing is, I think, like other guests that you had, it's I'm a professional improviser and a musician, and also a producer of different festivals. So I used to travel like you, I think, for work, which is going around the world with improv, going to for festival workshops, creating shows, and now with that shitty situation, I'm working here, but I love working here, so it's cool. Like I'm still doing shows and doing workshops too, and I'm still creating. I mean, I'm sure it's the same for you when you have a creative mind like what you're doing right now.
Yeah, but
You can't help but just like creating stuff.
yeah, exactly. But how did COVID treat your Reunion Island? What was the situation there and what it's now?
Mm, I think that like everyone else with the first the first time we heard about it, everyone was so fucking afraid that like everything was locked down. And then I think that compared to France, because we're linked to France, we were the lucky ones because we were I would say rapidly able to like go to the restaurants, go to bars, do shows, and being able to do workshops. And so we've been lucky until now, because like right now lately we call it the préfet, which is like kind of like the minister or someone like organized the island, asked to shut it down now. So right now we're a little bit back to what was the first pandemic, but we still are able to do groceries and buy stuff because they love us for us to buy stuff.
Yeah, exactly the same in Finland. But we've been basically all the theaters have been closed now for a year or so. It was
Yeah.
better after summer,
that
but
was my question.
now we're closed again. So I haven't done
So-
stand
so-
up in a
so
year
for
or
you-
something.
Wow. Okay, so for you guys, you haven't been working, like properly working in a theater for a year, right?
Well, yeah. Actually, there was a short period
Okay.
period after summer that I did one production, but after that, nothing. Yeah.
Okay. And
So
are you guys not able to practice or rehearse
I know some
in
theater
in theaters? In theaters.
in theaters. I know some theaters are rehearsing, but or where, but now they are closed. I think all of the
All right.
theaters. I may have product after summer if it's if the
Okay.
situation is better. So
I mean, like I said, like I was telling you, like for us, the last time I was on stage was like 2 weeks ago. So it's just I know we're lucky because like you
mm,
know, and 2 weeks ago I was in a restaurant with my friends, and 2 weeks ago I was in a bar drinking something, and I know that like you know even like for France, I think that for France it's the same as in Finland. Like in
yep.
Europe, it's everything is shut down.
Yeah, I got my vaccine shot yesterday, the first one.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So what's the plan for you guys in Finland? Is like everyone get vaccinated and then you reopen it,
Yeah,
or
we the government has made some exit plan how we're gonna open the country, but the theaters are not in
and
that exit plan. So there are a lot of
oh my
angry
God,
people.
it's
There are a
like
lot of angry people in my industry at the moment.
yeah, but
Yeah.
you know like I think that except Spain and I think some other European country, it's the same in France. Like they didn't even mention, like the president didn't even mention the people from the culture background. Like in his last speech, like
Yeah.
talking about okay, we're gonna do this to go back. They didn't even mention oh yeah, and those actors
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
actresses
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
musicians and blah blah blah.
All they
It's
all
yeah.
they say, we have heard your help, we have heard your shouting, but nope,
Oh
no accents,
my
no accents.
God.
Actually, Denmark is doing good. Denmark is doing good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they are
Okay.
they are
Okay.
opening like a they are making an effort to open cultures for the people. So that's good.
Right.
So yeah,
And so for you guys, you don't have any ideas like when would that be? Would that be in summer or May or
no, I don't know. Summer after
okay.
summer maybe. Yeah. So let's keep this thing rolling. I ask you to send me some pictures and let's check out the first one and
Yeah.
you can explain what is it. This one.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah. So this picture is my company. It's called La Bagasse,
Mm-hmm.
which is a company of several people. I would say Let me count right. Yeah, it's 10 people. 10 people who are improvisers, female
Ah,
and male, and one musician. And the drawing are from an artist from Réunion Island. She's called Belly,
yeah,
like the belly,
yeah.
and she draw this just with a pencil. That's it,
Oh
and it's
yeah.
pretty
Which one is
amazing.
you?
Like her
The
work is
your second one from the
I'm the one. Yeah, exactly. I'm this guy. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I
second
can
one
send it
from
to you
the
if you want to see it
from the
from the left, right for yourself, left for myself. I think something
yeah
like that.
yeah
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's me, and I think that like because due to the pandemic, we've changed our season because we weren't able to because our company usually do shows, big shows with like 5 people on stage, 6 people on stage, and like bigger and bigger. So we reduced it to just offer to the audience duos. And so I thought like instead of going through this kind of like oh it's a picture of my face and blah blah
Mm,
blah I don't really like this kind of like showing stuff, and I think that it's also a great thing to support other artists. And so I met Betty when I was doing a show, and she was doing an exhibition in the venue where I was working, and I love her work. And I was like, "Would you be interested in drawing portraits of our company?" And she did it, and it's great. Like it's she's very talented, and I think that yeah, it's me trying to support local artists, but at the same time, like trying to do some communication in another way. I think it's
yeah.
nice.
What kind of shows you do? I mean, you say you're a big group and a lot of people at the same time. Are they like
Mm.
a plays, like improvised plays or games or What kind of shows?
I mean, like usually when you do improv, I mean, there's so many like different style in improv, but we started with short form games, like very speedy and we call in French it's called also cabaret, where there's one MC and like five players and it's games. And we after this we did like some long form, which is long form play, and I think that in Finland you guys do that too, where it's just one story, a few characters, and start like that. And because I'm a musician, I emphasize a lot on musical improv, and so lately I've been creating like lots of improvised show. There's and one of the last show I created is called Last Gig, and I love this because it's the idea of two musicians, one singer. We come up to the audience and we're like, all right, telling to the audience, you're here because you're here for your favorite band in the world. Like you're here because you're gonna see your favorite band in the world. So we hype up the people. We ask for a name.
Yeah.
And while we're getting stuff, people are writing titles that don't exist, and then we go for the last show of their favorite band, and it's a show, it's a gig,
Do you get
And
any
it's
shows?
crazy.
Do you
I
get
love
any shows in YouTube or anything that I can watch, and the people who are watching this can check it out?
I have to check.
Okay, send me if you.
For this one, I don't think so. Yeah, I think I have some audio, but I don't know if you would like to get some audio because it's I don't know. But I'll check. I have some pictures if you want for that if you want.
How did you?
And
Why improv? What is that? That's a tough question, but
sorry.
why improv? What is that? That especially improv is your thing. What is that you love about it? Is it a freedom, or when you're creating stuff from basically from nothing, or?
Yeah, I think that is one of the things that you said. Like, one of the first thing I love about improv is, well, the two things. Well, what you said, freedom and creativity.
Yeah.
And I think that since I was a little guy, I've always loved to create stuff, and I think that my mind is constantly working, and so yeah. And I mean, like when I discovered improv, I was 17, I think, and it really blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, this is possible. Like this is an actual thing. And when I realized that it could be my job, double.
Is there stand-up comedy in Réunion Island?
It's starting. Like it's been like for like the last, I would say, 5 years, because it's getting bigger and bigger in France. There's a stand-up comedy scene, but it's, I would say, on my perspective, it's not very good. But
It
but
always
I
start
would say,
bad.
like,
It always start bad.
sorry, what?
It always start
Yeah,
bad from in the new places.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
oh yeah.
yeah. In
Is it the
Finland,
same in Finland?
yeah, I was
Yeah.
one of the first ones. My first week was 98, so I've been doing it
Okay.
over 20 years. But it always starts with a
Wow.
small group, and they're not very good. It always starts like that. Well, some people in Finland still thinks Finnish comedy isn't good. But anyway,
And I mean, like, I'm it's interesting because, like, you said that you've been doing this for 20 years, so you've seen the evolution of
yeah,
Finland.
I was there in the very. I
Yeah.
was there in the, basically from the very beginning. Yeah, there's some people who have done
Right.
it
And
before me, but I was kind of like the first wave.
and how many shows have you done? Like, how many stand-up shows have you done?
I have like a one-man shows, which is like a 1.5 hour with the intermission. I have done like, I don't know, 5, 6. I have no idea, but then
Okay.
but when you're doing stand-up, you always in a club set. In a stand-up club, it's usually like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and it's
Yeah.
changing all
Yeah,
the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I usually have new 20 minutes every year, or 25 minutes or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And I have released like, I don't know, 4 DVDs. They used to be DVDs.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Got you.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like in France, it's like blowing up. I don't know if you've seen it, but like I know there's a French guy called Yacine Bellows, who is like a famous French comic stand-up, and he did this documentary going around the world, in Russia, in London, in Africa, I think, and
Mm.
just to check out like what's the scene in different countries.
Mm.
And I think that like it's interesting. It's
Yeah.
interesting because your inspiration is more American stand-up, or is there like a I would say a typical Finland
No,
type
no.
of
When
stand-up
I
for you?
started, there wasn't any Finnish like stand-up comedians that I could looked up to. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I was searching I was looking all the American comedians and British Irish comedians. My first stand-up I saw was Eddie Murphy Raw.
That's interesting. And what are like the for you like what are the typical subjects that is like specific to Finland? Like what do you guys?
What talking about in stage on stage.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
mine is also my stuff is usually personal, so I'm using stuff from my own life, like talking about my
Okay.
daughter and the stuff I see. I don't make jokes. I just talking about my own life and what I see
Oh,
around me.
okay. It's more biographical.
Yeah, more like that nowadays.
Okay.
When I started, I was
Okay.
talking about
Okay.
dogs and cats and and oh, cats are different than dogs. Have you noticed? So it's like that. So let's go to the next picture. Picture.
Yeah.
It's this one. Is that your
Yeah.
impro group?
Yeah, that's is actually it's called it's from a show called Dance is the Answer, which was played in one of the festival that I produced called La Nuit de l'Impro, which is Night of the Impro, where actually one of the people that you interviewed, Amy from Australia, she was actually invited during this festival, and so it's a show. I mean, like it's a festival where we invite people from all around the world and we create improv shows during 1 week.
Okay.
And this specific picture, is me falling down. I love this picture.
Ah,
And
yeah.
and the I yeah. And the idea of this show was this like there was no talking, only music. And at some point we were able to talk, but there was this DJ Alain, which is the creator, Alain Borek, which is the creator of the show, who was giving us intention with the numbers you have behind. So
yeah.
I don't know if you can see it like in it's probably in reverse because for me it's in reverse, but we had different colors. So each color is a character, and each number signifies means a certain kind of the way your body moves. So you would say 1 is you do still, 2 you're angry, 3 you're happy, 4 you want to hug someone. So it was more like something like that, and it was for me like an awesome experience of creating stuff through improv. Yeah.
Oh, I would love to do some improv. Now when we're talking about it, the freedom, the freedom.
Yeah. Like something that is very specific, I think, from of European improv, and it's a different stuff in Japan, and it's different stuff in South America and States, but what I realized is that like a lot of European improv is more like talking, scene, talking. And for me, I come from like a bodywork background, and so I always think that we have this tool which is improv, and you can go with so many different kind of stuff, like through dance, through art, through I don't know, even say like through cooking if you want, but you can do a show with improv and cooking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's something that I love about it.
Yeah, I just my biggest hero in stand-up was Robin Williams, and his story
Of
is about
course.
that he got really into improv theater, and that's when he found out
Yeah.
his ability and his comedy was improv. And a lot of his stuff is
Yeah.
improv. My favorite part is the evening with Robin Williams from '85 in San Francisco.
Uh-huh.
He started the whole show. I bought the videotape, VH, what do you call it? VHS.
VHS.
VHS videotape
VHS,
from
yeah.
London, from London, 97
Okay.
or 98. And he
All right.
started the whole thing. He come to the stage and then he go among the crowd just improing, just doing improv. And I was like, oh my God, that is so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So yeah, but he got really into
I mean,
improv.
yeah.
Robin Williams, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, probably I'm wrong, but I think he started with improv. You know, like that was like his first step to comedy. No.
Yeah, he started with
Something
improv.
like
Yeah,
that.
he was in a university
Yeah.
or college or something, and he started.
Mm.
If I'm correct, he started, went to this improv group, and he said, in his own words, he said, I got highly addicted to improv. So
And you know, like, it's true. Like, for some people, like myself, it is an addiction because, like, you know, you go through so many different kind of stuff. And you know, Robin Williams was a genius for that. And you know, even if like you're thinking of for me, like I'm in love with Steve Carell, Will Ferrell, and all those guys were actually started with improv. You know, like their first school of comedy was improv.
yeah,
And I know that. I don't know if it's the same in Finland, but like right now in France, there's a lot of people that are like realizing how improv has an impact as even like a comedian. You know, like to do shows, to do movies, series. It's a great. It's not just a tool. You know, like it's a force. Definitely.
I remember I was in drama school as an actor. I was actor before I were in a stand-up comedian,
Right.
And I graduated as an actor, and we had one day improv, and I realized that I was really enjoying that, but that was it. I'm kind of mad to my school that we didn't have it more. Maybe I have lost the whole career. I'm almost 50. Is it late to start? It is too late to start the career.
It's never late. You know, like everything I would say. No, but it's never late. You know, like I have like I'm fortunate enough to do like still workshops with people that are like it's not their job, but it's, you know, like they want to try and have like it was great because like in the group of 12 people, I had someone of 65 and I have someone of 15. You know, like the gap between these two is just it's great. Like you're like someone of 55 years old can play with a 15-year-old. It's just it's amazing. No, like it's never. Well, you can always try, but like, you know, just to like answer to your thing, what you were saying about like getting one day into drama school, I feel that like in the past times now it's evolving, but like in the past times, even like teachers of drama, they underestimate improv. You know, like improv was just like an exercise and just something for fun. You know?
In stand-up, I am doing improv when I'm crowd working. You know what crowd working is?
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
That's where I'm doing improv, crowd working, and that's fun when it's always dangerous. It's like a jumping in a dark water, and you don't know if the shark is waiting you.
And you know, like I have a question about this because I don't know if it's the same in Finland, but I've been to there's different clubs in Paris. There's one club is called Le Paname, which is like a famous club where tons of stand-up comedian goes there, and some of them do crowd work. And I've been there a couple of times, and I have to tell you, like when I see crowd work made by French guys, I don't really like it because like usually what they do, they just like, you know, are really mean to the audience, or you know, like just like giving some really weird comments to the audience. And I was wondering like, what is crowd work for you? Is it like something where you pick on someone's nose and just like it can be also like fun and very like, you know, good behaving, but like what I've seen in France is it's a bit like, oh, okay, you're kind of like insulting the guy. It's weird, you know?
Yeah, you have to be very careful when you're doing that.
Yeah.
You have to, and you have to
Yeah.
kind of sense from the person. You don't want to hurt the person's feelings. That's the first rule. You don't want to do
Right.
that. It have to be like
Right.
you laugh with him, not at him. You know.
Right. Right.
But it can
And
it can
actually,
get
like,
really ugly and wrong if you do it not doing it right.
Yeah. And do you have like an experience of like something that went wrong? with
Yeah,
crowd work?
tons, a lot of
Yeah.
those. Of course.
like what? Like what was the worst?
All my worst were when I was doing a gig and it was co-op. It was for the people, this firm. I was doing that, and
Okay.
it wasn't going good at all. It was terrible.
Right.
And then I was doing like,
Right.
hey, do we have any couples here? Sure, raise your hands. Any
Yeah.
couples, raise your hands. And then I saw there was a lights against my view. I didn't see that,
Uh-huh.
and there was two hands there, and
Uh-huh.
and the other one was higher, another one was like really low, and I was, are you couple, stand up? And only one, I thought only one stood up, and I was like, come on, what are you ashamed of? Stand up! And then I was looking again, and it was a lesbian couple. The other one was little people, and she was already standing up. And I was like, oh my God. Oh. That was so bad. That was...
And then what happened?
Then I was
What
like,
your next
that
move towards
probably, that was kind of like the one, there was one table they saw what happened and they were laughing so hard. And I lost, that's the worst. That's the worst I have had.
Well, that's a good worst.
Yeah.
That's a good worst. I would say that in improv, when you're like MC, sometimes you do like a little crowd work, but it's not as big as the stand up. And I would say that my worst thing was when I was doing like this kind of like short form game, and like in improv we usually ask for a suggestion, and someone, like a guy voice said, because like sometimes like our audience is very cheeky, so like because like we have like a big follow up here on the island, and so sometimes they do funny voice and stuff like that, and at some point some guy said shoes, but with in, I don't know how you say it in English, but like with, as if he has something on his tongue, like in French we said as if he has a hair on his tongue, so like when you say, instead of saying shoes, it said shoes.
Yeah.
And so I answer it back like with this kind of voice, like, okay, that's right, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end of the show, he came up to me and he just said, it was a very good throw. And I was like, oh my God, that's his real voice.
That's a good one. That's a good one. It's always something when there's
the worst motherfucker. You're like, yeah, I'm a dickhead. That's me. That's right.
The worst is also there could be some special people. I don't know what's the correct way to say it in English, like a handicapped, like a people who not like speaking well. They're like speaking like, I don't know, like that. And sometimes I see the comedians treating them as a drunk people. They think they are drunk, or just and that's happened a couple of times.
Yeah, we do have to be careful of this, like in order to be like respectful and but it's, I mean, like, I don't know if it's a thing in Finland, but like I know here even in our company, we really try to be like, of course we can laugh about everything, but at the same time, like, we need to be aware of things that, like, for specific people, like, it's not okay. And so it's always this kind of like tangible stuff of like being, okay, is this funny? Is this not funny? And
my main point is to make people laugh, not to make them feel bad or hurt. That's
sure.
But sometimes when you're doing comedy, you have to be on the edge to get the best of it.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's true. It's true. If you look at someone like Louis C.K., where he's just like, fuck.
Some of his stuff. And after the scandal, some of this stuff, when you're looking it back, you're like, oh my God, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you seen his after the scandal? Did you see his show, latest show?
Yeah, yeah. I'm a big fan of CK. Like like I've always loved him. So yeah, and yeah, his latest show is like,
That's so good. He
it's,
started the show. So how was your 2 years or 1 year?
yeah, 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 yeah,
But he
yeah,
is.
yeah,
You may think whatever you want, what he's did or anything, but you can't deny that he's very good stand-up comedian, and I have
yeah, yeah.
so
It's true.
much
It's true.
respect. I have so much respect for him. Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to see him in France actually when he did his work. I think he came to Finland, right? He
No,
did
he
like this
haven't been
work
in
tour
Finland.
where he
No, he
was
was
like,
in. Actually, he was in Sweden.
uh, Sweden. Okay,
Yep.
yeah. And I think I saw him on this tour in Paris.
Yep.
And it's true, like you said, like besides like what he did and what happened, it's just like a genius, in comedy.
Yep.
It's just
And he is always on the edge, and sometimes he passed it,
always,
goes over the
always,
edge. Yeah.
always.
Yeah. So let's go to the next picture, and it's this one.
Yeah. It's funny because like I think I forgot like some of the pictures I'm sending you,
Yeah, yeah,
but at the
yeah,
same
yeah.
time like all right, yeah, yeah, and it's I was just like, oh my God, I sent you like the pictures of like really big moments in my artistic life. So this picture is like another show that I produced called We MMK. And so We MMK is the translation for yes and, the yes and in improv. So that's the name of the show.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was the first time that we played this theater on Réunion Island, and you're watching at 1,100 people watching improv
Is it
on an island.
is
And
it is it
yeah,
inside? It looks like it's
no, it's outside.
outside. Yes.
It
Yeah.
is
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
outside.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a terrific theater. It's we call it like it's called Théâtre plein air, which is kind of like the Romanian kind of like theater, like which is outside in the semicircle.
Uh huh.
And for me like this venue is very symbolical for improv on the island, because I feel that like this show was sold out,
Hmm.
and for me to be able to bring that much people, 1,100 people to watch improv and don't know what the fuck is gonna happen,
Mm.
it was like it was a dream, the dream that came true. And so I was like checked on my list, because
Ah.
it's like
Yep.
it's always great. And like when you dream of something and you think that like it can happen, well, that's great. So
Have you ever
yeah.
wanted to do improv in TV, like whose line is anywhere, kind of stuff?
uh I've actually tried, because like before being a professional improviser, I was a journalist. And I used to be like a head of like a TV show dealing with culture on the island. And so we tried to do several like episodes based on Creole expression, and then like from this Creole expression we create improv.
Hmm.
Some of them were great, and some of them were really bad. And so I think that that's the hardest thing with improv, like, and you're a stand-up comedian, so you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Like it's not, and you've seen improv, right? And it's funny because I feel that improv is really something that can be filmed, but it's very hard.
Mm.
Like I don't know if you've seen there's a Netflix show of a duo. I forgot the name of the guy, the two guys. It can be seen on Netflix, and it's great because it's well filmed, and like they have like 20 cameras, and
Mm.
it's yeah, improv. I mean, for me, improv film is very hard to succeed.
Have you been in London?
I've been in London, yeah.
Did you went to comedy store players, improv troupe?
No, no.
Yeah,
What is this?
there's once or twice a week where when everything were open, comedy store players,
Okay,
improv group. I went there because
okay.
one of my heroes, Eddie Izzard, was there, and
Oh,
I
okay.
saw him doing improv there. It was so in a small club. Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
wow. That's cool.
You know Eddie Izzard? Eddie Izzard.
Yeah. Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
He actually, I mean, I've watched like clips of his stand up, but I've never seen one entirely. But I just heard that like, and you probably know, but he did this crazy stuff of coming to France
He
and
did.
doing his
Yeah.
whole show in French.
Yeah, he have done it in French, and was it in German or something like that? Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean,
he is. Now he's
that's ballsy.
yeah, he's doing crazy stuff. He ran like 52 marathons in a 60 days or something, or 52 days or something. But yeah,
That's cool.
I saw he doing improv there in a small club, which was really nice. So
Nice,
yeah.
nice. Yeah, and I have several friends in London, and I have friends who played in the oh, Showstopper. Have you heard about this show?
No.
So Showstopper is one of the biggest improv show. It's a musical, improvised musical that's been on the on what's the name of the Broadway in London? There's a road, right? There's a street
West
where there's
End.
like all the theaters.
West End.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this show, Showstopper, has been on West End for like I would say 5 to 10 years,
Oh, I have to go
and
check it
they're
out if
now
I.
on
Yeah.
Broadway. Yeah, yeah, and it's pretty amazing. Like
All right.
they actually do a whole show with just improvised musical.
Okay, I have to go. I'm usually go there once a year to check it out, the latest theater and everything. But if it's still there next
Wow.
time, go there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you should definitely check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of my questions, I'm not sure the next pictures are there answering the question that I were ask you is where would you take me?
Yeah, that's my swimming pool.
That's
I'm
your
kidding.
swimming pool.
Yeah, that's I mean, it's how I roll. No, so yeah, I love this place. It's in Saint-Philippe. It's a beach called Le Vieux-Port. And something specific about this place is that usually you can't swim because it's dangerous. But it's been raining so much lately that the water of the rain did this on the picture that you're seeing right now, and so people are swimming on the beach, which is crazy. And so I was lucky enough to experience it too. And I don't know, like when you go there, you feel like time is stopping. Like every time I go there, I feel like I can stay there for forever because the sand is very it's a mix of volcanic stones and sands from the beach, and yeah,
So why it's dangerous to
beautiful.
swim there? Sharks?
Yeah, sharks, and also because there's a lot of coral reefs, and so there's not a lot of place to. I mean, you can like have water on your feet and like get me there, but still like it's very rare that the waves are not pretty big. So that's why like when this happens, it was just crazy because you were able to swim on this beach that is known for not being able to swim on. So
Was
next
that the
time you
what
will
my
come to
question
the
was
island.
where would you take me in Réunion Island? Was that the one of the places where would you take me there? If I
Yeah,
come there?
definitely.
Yeah.
Because like one of the craziest thing about this place is that you can see everything of Rain Island. So you can see the beach, you can see the black sand that is very specific, and next to this beach you have like lava. Like the lava that just came straight to the sea, and so you have this whole thing of like seeing. I don't know, like how can I say it, but like the whole scenery of Rain Island in one spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have trees, you have beach, you have lavas, you have
Um,
great colors also. The colors are beautiful.
Oh, I wish I would come there. Oh my God.
Then come.
I will. I will. I will.
Yeah, definitely, man.
I will. Is this the because I was watching the YouTube clip from all the mountains and everything. I was at it looks so beautiful. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, like I would say that I will take you there and then I will take you like to the mountains because it's like one other thing that is specific from the island because like Réunion Island has been made like with two volcanoes. One is that is not active but it's still present, and one that is active, and the one that is not active created Réunion Island. And from this creation you had like three, we call it circus, three circus. Two are you are able to go there by car, but there's one that you can only go through walking, and that's really cool. Like you can only go there hiking, and I think that I will bring you there too because it's something. The scenery is crazy. That's why like when you go there, when you go into the mountains, and when you see the scenery, like it's pretty big, because it's not a flat island. Like in Mauritius, for example.
What's the biggest industry there? I mean,
I would say we have a pretty big sugarcane industry, but it's not like as big as like countries that are just like doing that, because we're a French department, which like we're part of France. We have like the same help from Europe and from France, so I would say there's a lot of tourism too, but right now no. but
and also
but
from a Wikipedia, I saw there was a lot of tourists there, but then there came something like mosquito
yeah,
disease or fever or something like that. How bad that was?
Yeah, dengue.
Yeah.
Well, it's like any tropical countries, we have we do have mosquitoes, and we have also we had like this I think it was like 10 years ago, chikungunya, which was like a disease that was transmitted through mosquitoes. Now it's dengue, which is like something you don't die from it, but it's when you have it, it's pretty shitty. Like it's shit.
Yep.
So, but it's
Yeah.
something that you get a spray, get a cream, protect yourself,
Yeah.
and it's all good.
That's good. So the next picture is this one.
Yeah, I mean, coconut trees, right?
Yeah.
It's I choose this picture because I would say that I love the view because we have like some sceneries like that on the island, but it's not a coconut island. Like it's not like what I like about the island. It doesn't have this kind of like everything is very paradisiac and stuff like that. But we have also this kind of views, and I don't know. I just thought it was really cool to show you this kind of view because I love the symmetry of the coconut alley, and also our skies are really beautiful. Like especially in December, so in summers and winters we have colors that are really changing. Like in December the color of the weather can be like pink but very fluorescent, very hardcore fluorescent. And it's just like when you ask me to send you those pictures, it's just like there's so many stuff that you can send to someone, when you're like, okay, my country is like that, like that, like that.
Yeah.
But I was more like trying to show you like how diverse is the island, how diverse it is. And I think that I've never seen like such a small, like small island with so many different stuff.
Do you get snow in the mountains? Are they high enough?
So, well, here's the thing. Usually it's not possible because it's a tropical island. And there was a saying that was like, because like there's two volcanoes. There's a Piton de la Fournaise, which is the active volcano, and Piton des Neiges, which is like the volcano that created the island. And Piton des Neiges in French it means volcano of snow. Okay.
Yeah.
And so there was this old saying as a kid, was like, well, when there will be some snow on the Piton des Neiges, the chicken will have teeth. Well, it happened.
Yeah.
So, and the chicken did have teeth, but I think it was like in 2003 or 4. It was so cold that there was some actual snow on the volcano, but it was just like one time. But it's usually not possible.
Okay. Yeah. So how high? You have any idea how high is the top of?
So I think the top is like 3,450 meters.
Mhm.
So that's the highest.
Okay.
That's the highest. Yeah.
What's the biggest sport there?
Biggest sport?
Yeah, sport. What is the biggest sport?
I would say soccer
Mhm.
because like there's a lot of soccer fans here, but it's I don't know if it's specific to the island, but there's a lot of people that practice also trail, running into the
Mm.
mountains,
Yeah.
a lot of biking, a lot of beach tennis too. So like it's there's a lot of people that practice sports on this island. I have several friends who told me that. I was like, wow, I've every time I go out, I see someone doing sports, so it's an island of sport people. I mean, like the same question for you. Like, what's the biggest sport in Finland?
Ice hockey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's.
Is it as big as in Canada?
Well, yeah. That's the number one sport in Finland is ice hockey. In Canada it's almost like an religion. That's the number one place.
Mhm.
But
Right.
but yeah, ice hockey is probably the most biggest sport in Finland. But
Wow, I
now, in
didn't
the
know
first
that.
time in history in soccer, we got in the European Cup, the final tournament.
Okay.
So
Wow. Okay.
yeah,
Cool. Cool. And
and
what's the highest mountain?
we don't have any mountains.
Oh, you don't have any mountains in Finland?
No, not high enough. We have
Oh.
hills. I don't know what you call it in English. They're not high
Okay.
enough to be as mountains. They're like a
Oh, okay.
few. I don't know what you call it in English.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And
Cool.
and in Lapland, so very north, there is the highest. So how about your Reunion Island history? I learned something that you were under. Was it true like the French and English have fought of
Yeah.
Reunion Island?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was actually discovered by the Portuguese, and then I mean, like, I'm not very good in history, but I think it discovered by the Portuguese, the Arabic too, and then it was under the French government, and then the English battles. So we have like some British vestige from this battle, and then it was colonized by French,
Okay.
and we were a French department, I think, in 1950 or something like that.
Okay. And I asked you to name some person in your country history that you admire, and who was the that you said?
So I answer you Daniel Waro. So it is like it's still alive. So I don't know if it's like historical for you, but like it is someone that like for me represent the history and the culture at the same time of Réunion Island because he's a talented musician that I was fortunate enough to do a documentary about him.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I
Yeah.
think that and I think that that is someone that has a very strong point of view about what's the history of Réunion Island, and I don't know. I personally know him, and so I've always talked to him about this and how like just to give you a quick example, but because we were a French colony, for a very long time, in school, kids weren't taught who were the ancestors. They would say your ancestors are I don't know what's the word in English, but French Vikings, or how do you say French ancestors. And so, and I actually myself, when I was a kid, when I was in primary school, I never heard about the history of Réunion Island. I didn't know that my ancestors were slaves. I didn't know that, like, we had like a slave history that's been there for a long time because it was a colony.
Mm.
And this guy was among those people that just like fight for it, and he's a musician, and he plays maloya, which is a typical music from Réunion Island, and this music was forbidden during the 1980s by the French government because the music was saying, you guys have fucked up, like you guys
Mm.
didn't do stuff, you guys are lying to us. And so for a long time he was forbidden. He actually go to jail, went to jail because he refused to do the army. And so yeah, I mean, like, he's a very talented and interesting guy.
Okay. Is the documentary you did, can is it in YouTube, or can it, how people can watch it?
Yeah, I actually send you the
Oh, you
I
did?
send you
Yeah,
the
yeah,
link.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just a trailer, so I don't think that you can watch it the whole thing, but it's a trailer, so you can see like who the guy is.
Yeah, perfect, perfect. I will definitely do that. Were the slave,
Yeah.
the history of the slaves, were the slaves from Reunion Island, or did they bring people to Reunion Island to be as
No,
slaves?
no, there's no. It's not like Australia where there was like native people.
Mm.
Like in Australia there
Yeah.
was already Aboriginal people. Réunion Island is more like I don't know. I think there's like other islands like that where they brought slaves to the island. So it was like people from Africa, Madagascar, and then later on they brought people that in French they call it les engagés, which was, they didn't say they were slaves,
Mm-hmm.
but they were treated like slaves. Like low pay, didn't have any rights, and so yeah. So it was like, and it's not funny. I will I won't use that word. But what is interesting about that is that the mix, something that is very also specific of Rain Island, is that when you come to the island, you have people from all over the world, like different skin colors, different religion. You will have a church, mosque, a Hindu temple next to each other, and it's part of the island.
Yeah.
For
Yourself, what?
myself, for example, I'm a mix. Yeah, for myself, my mom is French, from Paris, but my dad, his dad took the boat from China to come to Réunion Island. He met my grandmother, who was also Chinese, but her mom was half black and half from another country. I forgot.
Yeah.
So yeah, and a lot of people on Réunion Island are like that. Like
Yeah.
a Chinese person with an Arabic, or Indian with an Arabic. It's just it's a mix.
Uh, the main people are Catholic, right? Right.
Yeah, there's a big religion Catholic, but because the population is so diverse,
Yeah.
you also have like a big Hinduism community, a big Arabic community. There's also like a Chinese religion
Yeah. Yeah.
community.
And then I ask you to bring up some artists you recommend from your country,
Mm-hmm.
and who were there.
Yeah.
You had two, right?
It's the same guy. Yeah,
Same guy,
yeah.
yeah.
I told you it's like historical. I would say Daniel Marot, and then I told you again Daniel Marot. So the other artist I recommend is called Alain Peters, and he's a musician that has been known in the 70s. He died from alcoholism, and something that is very interesting from him is that like he never did anything live. Like he never actually recorded an album, but someone gathered all these songs through demos and through like all recordings, put out an album, and this album that I'm sure you will make a listen to your viewers was very I would say was very important for a lot of musicians. and a lot of musicians know this guy because he was very creative. Like, you know, he was a talented bass player, he was a talented songwriter, and so yeah, I would recommend definitely.
So
Yeah, all right.
yeah, this was so nice. I
So nice.
so nice. I learned so much, and you made me wanna come there. I knew I would love when I saw all those footage. I knew I really would love to come there, but you made it even more realistic.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you.
I love the talk. I wish you all the best.
Me too. Wish you all the best and hope to see you actually, you know, in real life, and either me coming to Finland or you coming here. That
Yeah,
would be a blast.
just I will be really disappointed if you come here and not contacting me. I will.
Well, I will.
Yeah, I hope so too. So thanks for everything,
right.
and bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye. See you,
Bye.
man.
See you.
Cheers.
That was nice, wasn't it? I said it was very nice. I had so much fun to talk to Keng-Sam, and I learned so much. So much. Well, it was easy because I didn't know much about Réunion Island, but now I do. And I do want to go there. I want to see the mountains, the beaches, the sharks, the people, and those palm trees. So, but I do hope you enjoyed our talk too. And if you did like it, like the video, subscribe the channel. Remember to remember all the good stuff in your life. You must have them. See you next time.
I gotta get out.